there were good, there were people, and I was among them, um, going about living their lives. And then it was like how a group of birds or other animals like gathered together. So there were these different groups of swarming people gathering together because there was something threatening coming. Um, and then people were hiding, and I was hiding. Um, and I ended up hiding with another being and like in a bathroom stall. And I put them, well, they got in there first, and then I hid them with my body as this evil was swarming around looking to devour people. And then we were outside, and I ended up being in a car by myself, and across from me was another person in another car, and I was actually smoking a joint or reefer, whatever they're calling it these days. And I took a few inhales, and then I tapped on their window and gave it to them. Um, it was like it was, well, I'll say that later. Then I was out in front of like a, a old church, and out of the graves, it's like mounds was lifting up out of the graves, and it was actually the I won't say bodies, the beings of this evilness, and it was each one was draped over with like a dark gray dusty shroud that covered their whole bodies. So as they came up, you couldn't see them, their bodies. And as they came up, um, it's like the music was playing, you know, like that drama type music was not playing, but the feeling of that omnious feeling came up. And I was standing outside the gate of that church, of the cemetery that was in front of the church. And then somebody said, "Okay, cut. We need to move a little quicker on that. Um, let's rearrange the set and get ready for the next part." I cracked up like that, right? So I don't know what anyone gets from that, but what I got from it is, um, and the scary part, I was definitely like, shuddered and aware and conscious of, this looming negativity, blah, 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 blah. Who knows what's gonna happen, right? But when everything drew back and says, okay, cut, we either, and what I get from it is we either give our energy, lend our energy, or we let people, times, and events absorb and use our energy. So, and when the director says cut, it's like we can decide, we're every nothing's real and everything is
Mm,
what are we going to use our energy,
mm,
our perspective to own our energy as well, and create what we want.
mm, mm,
So I'm still digesting it. So
mm.
but whatever anyone has of it, let's partake.
I'll just say congratulations. It's a really deep dream, but to me it shows. Let me see what words I would use. It shows your level of awareness about your true nature. That's what it demonstrates. It's what I got from it. Does that
What
make
what
sense
is
to you?
what is that true nature that you perceive it to be?
That you're not the body and you're not the mind. Does that make sense, Cassandra?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, good. And what also comes up for me because of what you've shared with us is you kept on in your grief with your niece. You kept on wondering, like, how does this make sense? And one does often with, especially with a violent death. I think most times with a violent death, we we can't make sense of it until we manage to reach that level of awareness. Then there's a little bit of space for something else to be understood. Still unknown and still a mystery, and but we're not stuck in the disorientation and the grief of the loss.
Yeah, mention of my niece did come up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and her obituary fell out yesterday too.
It's so interesting.
Um, because I didn't have it put away.
Mm.
But I did file the obituary away yesterday though. I put it away.
Mm.
Um, but I left my uncles out.
Mm.
Um, And how have you been, Allison?
How have I been? Hmm. My body's not been good, but my emotional state and experiences in meditation have been amazing. There's a lot of other stuff, big challenges, and I'm just able to watch how differently I can respond in them. And when I say respond, I mean in my body, because I can often respond outwardly very differently to how my body is feeling, which is a good thing in some ways. But if you do that too often, it's not so good.
When we look at the dream like you told it, first you were protective, then you were sharing the calm and happiness, and the end you were changing the settings.
Love that summary, Hans. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Hans, that connects the dots with what Allison said is knowing that we are the creators. It's like, wait a minute, how is this going? All right, let's take a breath. What's really going on here?
Mhm.
Cut.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of going to New York with one of my cousins to honor another cousin, Novella Nelson, in New York. And the Metropolitan Library has a collection of her artifacts of life. That her daughter was able to donate. And it depicts the theatrical and political and the wave of living passion that existed throughout her time. She went to college to be a chemical biologist, and she walked into a classroom that was supposed to teach her um, public speaking, and it ended up being a theatrical art class. And so from that time on, she knew what her calling was because she just kept growing into that more and more. She's been on in Broadway plays, off Broadway, side Broadway plays. Um, she's directed, she's been on TV, all of these things. And there was a panel of 3 people up there sharing their diverse experiences of her. All 3 were very like my insides was just like like so excited, like taking it all in. For this woman to have lived this spirited life, because I know what she has been to me. And one of the things that really hit me is that there was this gentleman, she said, well, you're on the set, but we have a problem. And so, he thought he was going to get canned and everything. She said, nobody knows what to do with you. But that's not anybody's problem. No, she said, that's not your problem. That's everybody else's problem. So I'm going to poke at you so we can find out what's in you to do with you. And he said it was the poking was uncomfortable. And because he had not come in tune with his innerness, to let his innerness out. And he said that when she was like, there it goes, it's going again. It's like it was playing hide and seek. But when he was able to see what she would see when she would see it, he started to enjoy being more of that and learning his craft.
Mm.
And people didn't have to figure out later on or anymore what to do with him. They wanted him. They wanted him.
It's such a great demonstration, eh?
When you think about it, is there much difference between public speaking and theatrical arts?
Mm.
It's just how it's applied.
Yeah. And taking the stage too. Taking the stage.
That was for me. Sorry, Jessica.
Go, Allison.
For me, that was such a wonderful demonstration of, if you don't know what you are, then others can't. They can reflect back things to you, like she did. I'm finished, Jess. Thanks.
Thank you, Allison. My word has been integration, integrating.
Mm.
So in that story, it was integrating the stage, the story, the greatness and gifts of all. And that is in the we, the togetherness.
Mm.
No, it's integrating. That's aligning internally, integrating external.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Allie. Integrating Allie.
Hi, good morning.
Good evening,
Good
Ellie.
evening, Andy.
Good
I love
morning,
your
Ellie.
Hi, Sandrell. I'm so happy to hear your voice. It's been
I'm
a
happy.
while.
Yes, it has. It has. It's like time is going by like,
Fast.
yeah.
I love the word integration, integrating.
Mm.
I was thinking the word molding, like molding it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like how you've come in and integrated, but yet, like in a recipe, there's that distinct flavor of you being here.
Mm.
Like you don't
Mm.
you don't get lost.
Mm.
Mhm.
How have you been, Jesse?
My word for today I had a few, but the one is happy birthday. And the reason for that is that it's my husband's birthday today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And another very good friend of mine. So it's a day of awareness, of celebration.
Of life and friendship.
Yes, Ali, exactly. Of gathering. And celebrating what we really are.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad turned 70 last week and he's just flew in. So
Oh,
we've
how
got,
wonderful.
yeah, 70. I can't believe he's 70.
Yeah. The kids must be so excited to have him there,
Oh,
Ali.
yeah, my little boy is just stoked.
No.
He was telling me how lucky he was his papa was coming to see him. Oh, he was melting my heart, so he was.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm taking him to Bali for his 70th birthday present. So we leave next week, so that'll be good. He's always wanted to go to Bali. He's always wanted to go. And we've never ever had the opportunity. 15 years we've been here and we've never made it to Bali. It's like a 2 hour flight away. So we're off
Oh,
to
wow. I
Bali.
didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, it's real close. It's
You can
closer
have
than any of the other states.
you can have the best time there.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm celebrating with you. That's wonderful. My heart is like
Yeah,
celebration and music, smiles, and you're
yeah.
being able to witness your family like love on each other, and you're in the midst of that.
I know it's so good. It's so good when family come to visit us. It really is.
Mm.
What was that?
It's lovely when family come to visit us
Hmm.
because it is so far away, you know.
Mm. It's very far from Europe to Australia. It was even far from South Africa.
Yeah.
I keep hearing that every time Ali you say about family coming to visit. Is that you, Jesse, going? Hmm,
No, that's me.
that was you?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that you reflecting on when family comes to visit you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I've only
And
I've only had my one brother be able to come actually, because he goes to conferences all over the world. So whenever he's in the States, then he grumbles about the Canadian visa and the cost of it. But he always comes. Shame. It's so expensive for South Africans to travel now because their currency is so devalued.
oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
My word for today was faith.
Mm.
It's actually been my word for the last couple of days.
It's such a beautiful word.
Yeah, it really is.
I always think about faith and grace together, hey, Ellie?
Yeah, faith and grace. Just in the knowing that everything's working out, everything is how it's meant to be, even when it doesn't seem like it is in the 3D world. And there's that much contrast coming at you, and you think, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when it's other people's stuff that you're dealing with,
Yeah. Yeah.
just having that faith and knowing.
And the interesting
been-
part about it is, for me, is that when we practice that faith,
Mm,
we make it possible for
we
those
really do.
incredible possibilities to come about,
Yeah,
But if we stay in the fear of it, of the overwhelm, then it just
yeah,
continues to be constrictive.
yeah.
And we never get to our true nature when we're in a constriction.
No. And the longer you feel constricted, the longer that goes on, the worse you feel. And then you start feeling it physically.
Yeah.
And by that point, we've built the patterns.
Yep.
We've already built the patterns.
Yep.
That's what I love so much about the 4 core orientations.
Yes.
Like just that alone is
Yep.
enough to really raise your vibration enough in the day for things to really flow.
I would agree. And also that question of where's my power? Where am I putting my power?
Yeah. And your time. Like time is so precious.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where are you wasting your time? Like what things are you doing through the day that's wasting time, that's precious time? So
Yeah. It reminds me of Mo Gaudat that Jesse introduced me to. His thing about happy, and he says you ask yourself, how do you want to spend your heartbeats? Because you've only got so many. There's a limit to how many heartbeats you have.
So we just have to go with the flow and chill, says Abraham Hicks.
She's so funny. I love her.
Oh, and she made me laugh. I was listening to one the other day driving to work, and I was actually laughing out loud in the car. She's so funny.
She is.
Yeah.
I said really love her.
She said it's too hard to get used to that. Just think positive thoughts. It's easier to get used to stop thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, only certain people would get that.
Mm-hmm.
I love this talk and dance about grace and faith. I've been watching some period pieces in it. You know how they have these lovely gowns and they're waltzing, and everyone is so ladylike and gentlemanly. And I feel like I showed up to the ball, to the festivities, and had a chance this past week to be introduced to grace again, like a potential across the room, catching my eye and I catching it. But I really had to get to know faith again and have a conversation and actually have that dance and to feel my heartbeat up against things that wanted to kind of leave my life to chance. I finished out the dance and I bowed and gave way. And I went out to the terrace, and that's where I went to pray. Have I come to the edge of the place of my faith where it's been comfortably in a certain stage in a race? Will I go further? Will I pursue even more? Will I challenge the expanse of this horizon? Will I open up this door? Or will I cringe to a corner and be a wallflower and just there be, waiting for grace to come and rescue me? The socialization between grace and faith. I'll go back out to the balcony and soar this race, because with faith I know, or I demand and I ensue that grace will come with me, and in each moment it will be new. Grace, faith. Wow, that was a great party last night.
It was beautiful, Sandra.
Thank you. Faith is a challenge. It's a challenger.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a bully. It's like, what you gonna do now?
I don't know why, but this image comes to me. It was a short clip video about a bird helping a hedgehog go over the road. And it was fascinating to watch how this bird prompted the hedgehog And at times the hedgehog would stick its head right in, roll up like a ball. And then the bird would just come and push it with its beak. Otherwise, it would peck on the road, it's kind of like trying to make him aware, And it was just this watching the bird with each move that it would make, like it was because it was watching everything, was trying to get the hedgehog out of danger. And right at the end, he gets him right to the end of the other side of the road, but he's still got to climb over the curb. And the bird he does about 3 or 4 or 5 attempts, to get him to climb up. And then you can see him pondering, and what he does then is he jumps onto the curb himself and he starts to walk away. But my imagination, because the clip stops there, what I felt was happening was as if the bird was trying to get the hedgehog to follow him. And just in that whole interaction, watching the bird and seeing the hedgehog's reaction and then the bird's response to that reaction, it was absolutely fascinating. And just that thing about that we, our need for others to give us prompts in the right direction sometimes, right? When we are not aware. And for me, that's a little bit of faith. That's what faith can make us do, be the bird. That small voice that we have, right? It keeps on nudging.
I'm finding that I have to seek a balance between being the bird or not. That's so easy for me. Like it's almost like addicting to help others. But then I have to take care of my own stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Oh,
1,000% easier for me to help others.
Yeah. I always think of that analogy of mother and the child on the plane, right? And the instruction is for the mother to take the oxygen mask first, or the father. Because if you're not around, the child is going to be even more traumatized. I'll say this, Joel, the one thing that helped me with that dynamic was when I started to realize that what I thought was perhaps not always really helping, because it didn't allow the person to get to what they needed to get to in order for that stumbling block to become their stepping stone.
Oh, I absolutely get that perspective. It's the joy of seeing the child walk on its own, to fly on its own, to drive on its own.
Yeah.
They can't do that if you're doing things for them.
Yeah.
I totally respect the growth aspect and do stand back and be aware. I've been able to do that, I believe, quite successfully with my children. I just mother them when they come home with apple pies and breakfast and their favorite dishes. But no, I get that. But it's, when they say, what is the character of God? It's just one of my character traits that I do have to be aware of, to know the point of, I can't want something more for somebody than they want it for themselves.
Yeah.
And I can't invest more in others than I invest. Like, I have to be my own best investor in myself.
Yeah.
That's I'm more on that side of growing. I said, no, I can't do that because I have priorities that I must take care of for myself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, everybody, for the silence to start the day off, and wonderful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Allison. Bye.
Bye.
I'm going to tip out as well. It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse, for your consistent hosting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks,
blessed
everyone.
Big love, everyone. Good night.
Have a great day.
Bye. Good night. Sleep tight.
Bye. Bye, Heinz. Hey, Allie.
Bye, Debbie. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.